All right, today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea in education, the LCT Montessori Teacher Training program, and its vision for the future of learning. So let's jump right in.
So, let me start by asking you something. What if a classroom wasn't really about listening, but about doing? I mean, what if the main goal wasn't just to soak up information, but to actually get your hands dirty and discover it for yourself? It sounds simple, right? But that one little shift, it changes everything about how we think about school.
And to really get why that shift towards doing is such a big deal, let's just quickly remember the kind of classroom most of us grew up with.
Yeah, this probably looks pretty familiar. Desks all lined up in neat rows, the teacher up at the front, and everybody marching through the same textbook at the exact same speed. It doesn't matter if you're bored or if you're struggling to keep up, that's just the pace.
Okay, and this slide really lays it all out, side by side. On the left, you've got that traditional model we all know, teacher-led, lots of passive listening, one-size-fits-all curriculum. But look at the right. It's a completely different universe, isn't it? We're talking child-led discovery, active engagement, and learning that's actually personalized. That's the goal. That's the ideal we're chasing.
So the big question is, how do we get there? How do we build that ideal classroom? Well, the answer has actually been around for more than 100 years. It's called the Montessori method.
One of the absolute cornerstones of this method is something called the prepared environment. Now, this isn't just a fancy term for a classroom. It means that everything, and I mean everything, in that room is there for a reason. The way the shelves are organized, the specific materials on them, it's all meticulously designed to make kids curious and empower them to learn on their own. The classroom itself literally becomes a teacher.
And this slide, wow, it really breaks down the magic behind it all. So first up, everything is child-led and self-paced. No one's rushing you. Then it's all hands-on learning with these amazing specialized materials. Think of something like the Pink Tower. It's not just a toy, it's a tool that lets a kid physically feel and see a math concept. You've also got these multi-age classrooms where older kids naturally mentor the younger ones. And this next one is huge. Uninterrupted blocks of work time. We're talking real time to get deep into a project. And it all happens within this brilliant framework of freedom within limits. So you have choice, but there's still structure. It's the best of both worlds.
For this to work, the educator's role has to completely transform. You go from being the sage on the stage, the person who has all the answers, to being the guide on the side. Your job isn't to stand up there and lecture. It's to watch, to see what a child needs, and then to gently guide them to the right activity or material so they can discover the answer for themselves.
Okay, so we get the philosophy. It sounds incredible. But how on earth do you train someone to be that kind of teacher?
I mean, teaching someone to step back, to observe more than they talk, and to guide instead of direct, that's a huge shift. And that's the exact problem that the LCT Montessori Teacher Training program, or LCT, was created to solve. So what makes LCT so special? Well, a few things really. First, they stick to the authentic Montessori principles, the real deal. But, and this is key, they blend that with modern science like neuroscience. They understand how doing something with your hands over and over again literally builds stronger pathways in the brain. It's not just a nice idea, it's brain science. They also put a huge focus on the teacher's own personal growth. And you're not alone either. There's a whole global network for support. And maybe most importantly, you get a full year of mentorship right there in the classroom. That's invaluable. This all leads us to the journey itself. What does it actually look like to become one of these master teachers? Well, LCT has mapped it out as a really clear step-by-step process. You start with the deep stuff, the philosophical foundations. Then you get your hands on all the specialized materials and practice, practice, practice. After that, you learn the actual art of observing a child, what to look for, how to analyze it. And then it all comes together in the final step, a full-year residency in a real classroom with a mentor guiding you the whole way. And this quote from Maria Montessori herself just says it all, doesn't it? The ultimate goal, the true sign you've succeeded as a teacher, isn't that the kids are all hanging on your every word. It's when they are so focused, so engaged, and so self-sufficient in their work that it's like you're not even there. That's success. So let's zoom out for a second. Why is this so important? Why does this matter for everyone, not just for the kids in these specific classrooms? Well, it's because this is about preparing kids for the future they're actually going to live in. Just look at the skills this approach naturally develops. We're talking about independence, critical thinking, that inner drive, intrinsic motivation, collaboration, and confidence.
These aren't just fluffy buzzwords. These are the core skills that every expert says are absolutely critical for thriving in the world today. And that's because this is about so much more than just acing a test. The endgame isn't just to create smarter students. It's to help grow better human beings. People who are capable, who are always asking questions, and who know how to be compassionate. You know, when you strip away all the layers, the philosophy, the materials, the training, it really all boils down to one single, incredibly powerful goal. And here it is. The goal is to empower children, to give them the tools, the mindsets, and the self-belief they need to go out there and build a better world for every single one of us. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. What is the real point of school? Is it just about cramming our heads full of information? Or is it about something bigger? Something like unlocking human potential?